podcast.
Alright, so third episode here. It's had its ups and downs. I'd say, how do you think starting off the podcast has been going?
I think we prepared pretty well and researched and knew kind of what we wanted to talk about, and we had I think it's easy for us to figure out the creative stuff, but actually the technical stuff, setting up for it every time,
Yeah.
and my computer dying, for example, or the mic's not working and the audio being low, things like that, the little things really set us back. I guess not set us back, but I didn't think about I didn't think about those little things. It definitely isn't easy, how we said in the first episode, being oh, starting a podcast is easy. I wouldn't necessarily say it's easy.
No.
Would you?
It takes longer, and it can be frustrating sometimes.
Yeah, it just took us an hour to set up.
Yeah. And all we're doing is talking into two microphones. So, yeah, it's definitely a challenge, but I don't know, I get to use some of the things I learned in school a little bit.
Yeah, you were really proud of yourself there.
Yeah.
For a second.
Yeah. So, I don't know, I think it's, at least we get to learn something.
Yeah.
You get to figure stuff out on your own. So yeah, I think hopefully we'll get into a better groove.
The swing of
For sure.
things.
Yeah. Just setting up and everything. So yeah, how was your week?
I think we both had a pretty rough week.
Yeah.
We both were sick with the stomach flu. I guess you had it, and then I got it from you. But
Yeah. So, yeah, I thought I had, what was it, Tuesday?
food
I
poisoning.
had food poisoning, and I was pretty positive I had food poisoning. I just started to feel horrible, and at night, and I was like, oh man, I think I had food poisoning, and then
You called me and you're
Yeah.
I need you to come over. And I'm as long as it's food poisoning and I'm not gonna get it, I'll be that's fine. So I went over to your house being oh, he ate something bad, I didn't eat that, I feel fine,
yeah,
And then I got it Friday.
turns out, yeah.
So
And
that wasn't very fun.
It was pretty crippling for a day.
Yeah,
It kind of,
it's brutal.
Yeah.
It's humbling for
I
sure.
know, yeah.
I was doing meetings from the bathroom floor for
Oh yeah.
a good day.
Yeah, I luckily took a sick day at work.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I would not have been able to interact with anybody.
No, it's painful. But we're both recovering.
Yeah, it really only lasted a day or two.
Thank God, yeah.
It wasn't a week-long thing or anything like that. But yeah, not food poisoning.
No.
It was the stomach flu.
So we're doing much better.
Yeah.
How's that for an answer?
Yeah. Which is why I'm glad. I'm glad that it ran its course and
Yeah.
we don't have to worry about it anymore.
We got the demons out, so now we're fresh and
You gotta get sick like that once a year, maybe.
I wish you didn't, but I understand what you're saying. I feel I do get sick like that once a year. Whether it's it was COVID or I did have the stomach flu last year too, but
I guess you don't have to, but I don't know.
I feel it does happen though. You
Yeah.
get sick pretty bad one time and then you're alright,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Then your body figures it out, and then
The
you're
immune system helps me.
exactly. Yeah. Well, we also have a new backdrop for our podcast here.
I did. I decided to buy a tree. Something about me is I really love plants. If you saw my room, it literally is a green room. There's plants
Yeah, definitely.
everywhere. And yeah, I bought a tree this time instead of a little baby plant.
Yeah.
You helped me pick it out. If you're just listening, it looks like a palm tree. I'm not quite sure what it is, but
It looks like it'll grow pretty big, if I'm gonna be honest. Looks like it'll outgrow your house, maybe.
it's our third guest on the show,
Yeah. Well, there was actually, didn't you have a little guest in the tree?
Oh, I did. I did. I was repotting my plant into a bigger pot just because you're supposed to do that once you get a new plant. And I was outside on my balcony, and literally out of nowhere, a little frog jumps out, and I like freaked out because I didn't expect it. And it's like a little baby frog, and I was trying to capture it and honestly give it to you and your roommate as like a gift, but then I realized like you guys probably would have been so mad at me.
I don't think we're equipped to take care of a frog.
No, definitely not. I'm not either. Not saying like I am, but I was like, they're probably gonna be like grossed out and be like, why the hell did you give me this? I didn't know what to feed it with either, so I kind of just let it sit outside, like
Outside.
in
Yeah.
the middle of the winter, which I feel really bad about. Okay. But I like screamed my roommate's name. I'm like, oh my god, like we have a frog now. Like,
Yeah.
what do we do? And she's like, just leave it. Like, what are you supposed to do? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's
She's
not
like,
something,
"You're
not like you have like a yard or anything, so.
I don't think frogs belong in Denver. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. This is obviously like
There's
a
definitely
tropical
some frogs. Yeah.
plant.
Yeah.
Wherever
definitely.
they got it from, it belongs there, not
Yeah, true.
in the winter.
It's not one of those cold weather frogs.
No, so I'm hoping he's okay and like on my balcony and found some warmth, but I honestly haven't gone to check on him since. I'm kind of freaked out. to
Yeah,
be
maybe
honest.
there's been some insects that flew up there.
Yeah.
And he was able to munch on them.
Praying for that little guy.
Yeah. He was really tiny though.
Yeah, he was.
Really tiny.
He was a baby. Other than the new tree, the new friend, and the stomach flu, not much.
Trifecta.
Not much else going on.
No, not much after that, I guess. It was an interesting week for sure.
Yeah.
We're doing this podcast a little later, if you can't tell. It's Sunday night. Mainly because that was when we decided to do it. It was like,
We were watching football all day.
yeah, football was on, wanted to sleep in.
Yeah. We're
So I don't know, we
recovering.
may do, I don't know, I feel like honestly the lighting is a little bit better. So, I don't know, maybe we'll keep doing these later at night, I'm not sure.
Every time it's a learning experience.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to consistently have a time to do it,
Yeah.
just because every week's different.
Mhm. And we also didn't think we were gonna be sick and like
Yeah.
not up for this, but
Mhm.
we're here. And what would you like to
Feeling alright.
chat about today?
Yeah, so I think that the good topic today is like, which is a pretty interesting one, and I'm kind of excited to talk about it, like, what would be the things you look for when trying to find maybe a different city to move to? Say like you had an option, and there was like, you kind of just had whatever you wanted, like, it was like not like you're tied down to a job or anything, you're not tied down to like a person maybe or something, like trying to be close to family, like you have
Freedom.
you have the, I guess we'll say the US at your fingertips.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe we can even incorporate a world one in there. We'll see, but like what kind of things do you look for? What kind of things are important to why you would choose to live somewhere versus why not choose to live somewhere? And I think that's a great topic. Like, people probably want to listen to like good ideas, like
Yeah.
if other people, because I feel like I've met a lot of people out here that kind of just pick Denver because they're like, sounds cool,
Yeah.
sounds different, which I guess is a reason to
Mhm.
do it. So
There's also so many outdoor activities. Like, no one's ever bored here.
mhm.
There's always something to do, whether it's spring, summer, fall, winter. Like, there's always something to do. And I think that's like a big point and
Yeah.
like priority in a lot of people's.
Attraction.
Yeah, attraction is a better way to put
Yeah.
it for a lot of people. Especially like that's probably one of mine too. Why I moved here
Mhm.
in the first place, like as a freshman. But
Yeah.
I don't
So
know,
you-
that is a good question. I think I didn't realize this before I moved to Colorado, but for me, being outside of the Midwest now, it's the people is huge for me.
Okay.
And I think it's because I grew up in the Midwest and I am a Midwesterner, like, the people mean a lot. We're from very welcoming, very nice, like, very social, and like, hello, everyone says hello, everyone says goodbye, people hold the door for you, like, they have manners.
Yeah, that's what happens in the Midwest.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think that means a lot. And
Yeah.
I was used to that, and then going to college and meeting a ton of people from different sides of and parts of the US, like, I realized really quickly, like, not everyone's like that. Not everyone will say hi back to you just because you did. Not everyone will hold the door for you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
which I guess is common sense, but like, I don't know. I think like my first time getting out of, I guess, my home region, like, it was a big like shock. Like, I was like, whoa, people aren't as nice as I'm used to.
Yeah.
Which is
gotcha.
like okay. I just wasn't used to it. So
Yeah.
now like going to a new city, like, that is a huge thing for me. Like, I want to feel comfortable, like, especially because I feel like moving to a new city, like, it comes with meeting new people. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to be easy and comfortable to meet new people too. So I think that would be honestly one of my priorities. What would you say? People.
You would be looking for more of a welcoming, I guess not okay, I wouldn't, welcoming might not be the right word, maybe like, just like friendly type of people. Okay. Because
I really think Colorado, even though it's not in the Midwest or considered the Midwest, it feels still homey and like very much like the Midwest.
yeah. Because you always hear about like Southern charm and like the people down in the South are super nice and
Right.
and very friendly as well. But I get what you're saying with people from the Midwest a little bit, like.
And I might just be biased, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that could happen too. I think people in the Midwest are always down to chat, you know.
yeah, I
Like
think,
they
and so
always
am
are.
I. So it's like when
Yeah.
when I'm saying hello to someone, like, I remember moving into the dorms and like literally being like, I basically moved to Colorado. I'm in a new school, like, know no one. Might as well just make new friends starting now. You know what I mean? Like, everyone is, right? So I thought, and like, I literally just say, hey, like, I'm Avery. And some people literally wouldn't say anything. They'd look at me and be like, who the hell are you?
Really?
And I'm like, oh my god, like, do I have something in my face? Like, am I like weird? Like,
Yeah, kind of.
I just was like so, I don't know, I think that's like normal to say hello to people and like, we're all freshmen, like, why not make friends? It was like my mindset, and yeah, some people did not have that same mindset as me, which is fine again, but I definitely was like taken back from it, so like, I think that really made me realize like how important people are to me.
Okay.
And then
Yeah,
finding your
gotcha.
group and like going from there.
Yeah. So I think, like, we do say people, but it is generalizing like a whole area, right? Like, you can't, like, there's probably people from, the thing about Colorado, especially like Denver, is a lot of people aren't from Colorado too much. Or like there is, but there's also a lot of people that live in Denver that are not originally from Denver, so you never really know where people are from. Like there's a ton of people from the Midwest out here. So like, you could always meet people that are like that too, but I get what you're saying. Like there's different cultural balances between one side of the country and the other. It's just like, they're just so far away from each other, it's different. So
Right.
I think it's super interesting. And I don't know if you'll ever really know how, like, you interact with people that are, say, from the East Coast or from the West Coast until you live there or spend a lot of time there. I'm not sure. Because, I don't know, I didn't really, feel like I didn't really get that until I lived here for a while.
Yeah.
And I think there is definitely something to that, but I don't know. I didn't understand. I guess because I had spent my whole time in the Midwest and you're right. Like people are very similar. Yeah, I guess you need to spend a lot of time there to
Yeah.
really get the feel, get the vibe for it. Because every place is gonna have a different vibe as well.
Mhm.
So people. That's a good one. I think. So that would be probably what, your number one?
I don't know if it's my number one, but that's definitely like what I take in consideration. Like that's definitely top of the list.
Mm-hmm.
What would
Okay.
be yours?
When looking for a new city, I think maybe not number one, but something I always like to consider is, like how am I gonna spend my free time?
Like activities and like.
Yeah, and coming from Chicago, I used to live in Indiana. Like, it was spending your free time. There's not a whole lot to do. I don't know, especially in Indiana. It's like there's like some parks and some good stuff out there, but there's not a whole lot of I don't know, not like outdoor activities and like access to so many just like places as like here.
Mhm.
This is like in such a good spot of the country where you've got the mountains, but then you've also got like a city, and so you're right when you said like there's almost there's almost too much to do. You can't do everything,
Yeah.
which is awesome, and I think like that switching it up, you're able to switch it up every time you have free time.
And it's also like it's all outdoorsy. Like that's the main attraction about Denver. It's like all outdoors. Like it's like
Yeah.
I feel like in Chicago, like they have a ton of fun things, but it's like inside, like
Mhm.
activities inside. Like Denver's always outside. Like
Yeah.
whether you're skiing, snowboarding,
Yeah.
tubing down the river, like hiking,
Mhm.
like all that.
But then like a city like LA or New York, LA's probably got a lot of things you can do outside as well because they do have mountains in pretty close proximity. But like New York, it doesn't have to be outdoor activities like that. I think New York's such a big city. There's always something to do out there too. So like cities like that, Chicago, bunch of stuff to do there. I think it would be hard to get bored. But there are some cities in the Midwest, that I could see myself maybe having a hard time spending my free time,
Yeah.
getting bored, I guess.
Especially because we're spoiled with Colorado now, and like having so much access to all these activities. Like, I definitely like could see it being hard to like transition to like having way less and being like,
Mhm.
oh shit, what do I do?
Yeah.
I can't just go ski on a Saturday
Yeah,
or a Sunday.
exactly.
Like, what?
Yeah, you're
That's
right.
a good one too.
In the like warm weather parts of the country, Florida, California, Arizona. I guess there's no beaches in Arizona, but swimming is big all year round, which is
Right.
nice, which is cool.
Yeah.
Cause that would definitely keep me occupied for sure. So that's one thing that really did attract me, and like when I was narrowing down places that I wanted to live, and even in the future, I'll always think about where am I gonna spend my free time? Like when I have nothing to do on a Sunday or a Saturday, and there's no football on, what can I do? And because I go crazy sometimes when I just sit on the couch.
Yeah. You can't just like
Yeah.
chill out
I don't.
and
No.
like sit. Like I love doing
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
I love it. I love just like resting.
Yeah.
And like honestly being sick this week, like I needed that. I needed to just lay in bed and just chill. Like we're so opposite in that way. Like you always need
Yeah.
to go, which is good. But you also just can't take a day to just sit and do nothing
No.
and like have no plans. Like I like having no plans and like just trying to go with the flow.
Yeah.
And I feel like you like to be like, I'm going to the gym, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and then this, and then this. I'm like, whoa, breathe.
You have a hard time relaxing sometimes, for sure. I think you're good at being like, yo, like slow down.
Yeah.
Because I do run myself into problems.
Like getting sick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. And like, you seem to, first of all, not get sick as often as I do.
I don't know. After this week, I don't know.
But yeah, I think, yeah, that's a whole different topic, but
Yeah.
I'm slowly learning. You're teaching me definitely the qualities that relaxation can have, and like just like you do need some time every week to just breathe. And like everyone's got a busy schedule. Everyone's moving every which way. Like you do definitely need some time to breathe
Yeah.
and relax. So yeah, so I don't know. Hit me with another quality of a city. What do you think? Honestly, it doesn't have to be a city, just anywhere.
Yeah. Definitely proximity to like my family and friends. And if it's a city that they'd come visit me at, if they didn't already live there.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Because I think, like, for me, family and friends is, like, super important to me and, like, always has been. I'm super close with my family and, like, of course, like, they're still in Illinois, majority of my family, and, like, I want to live somewhere that I know they would enjoy coming to and, like, wouldn't be like, oh, shit, we have to fly all the way there to go see Avery. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to be, like, somewhere fun and, like, enjoyable so it like they want to come see me. And same with friends. Like again, like I think Colorado is a great example because already this year, we've only lived here 7 months, 8,
Yeah, something like that.
something. We've had tons of visitors, whether it's family, it's friends, sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends from college, friends from high school. Like it's a great place because everyone wants to come see it too,
Yeah.
whether they've been here before or not. So I think that is something important. And yeah, I guess I just would want my loved ones to come see me and enjoy the city just as much as I do.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Yeah, maybe easily accessible for your loved
Right.
ones,
Like
too,
I don't
right?
want to be,
Yeah.
I guess, literally across the country or something and like never be able to see my friends or my
Okay.
family.
Yeah.
Like that'd be really hard for me personally. Like I definitely prioritize them. That honestly might be my number one.
Okay. Cool.
Whether it's like I'm picking a new city and it's like closer to home or like at least somewhere they'd like to go. I think like that's half the reason I moved to Colorado too is like at least for me, like my dad grew up coming to Colorado with his family, and then once he started dating my mom, he'd bring her every year, and then once obviously they got married and had us kids and all of our cousins, like every single year we were in Colorado. So like I knew coming to Colorado, it was like a place my family would love to come to.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense, and I think like if you were to move somewhere, say Hawaii, it would be really tough for. It's tough for people to get out there, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that is something to consider. Like Hawaii would be amazing to live in, probably, but if the rest of your family lives in, I don't know, New York or Chicago or something like that, then it's that's probably like a 12, I don't know, maybe like an 8-hour flight. Like it's really tough. And it can be really tough for people to get out there all the time and see your family. You might not be able to come back so often.
Yeah, it's funny you brought up Hawaii. Is like my little sister's applying to colleges or in the process of it, and she actually like we've never been to Hawaii, my family and I, and she's just been obsessed with like Hawaii Pacific and applying there and stuff, and like we all were like, do you realize like we won't be able to see you?
Yeah.
Like Avery and Kate get to come back and like visit a lot. Like you won't be able to come back just for Thanksgiving break, you know, like.
Yeah, it's really far.
Yeah, and I think like telling her that, she was like, oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. It's easy to be like, oh my god, Hawaii would be awesome.
Right, like no doubt, like I'm sure it'd be like my uncle
get
literally
excited
went
about
to
it.
college out in Hawaii,
Yeah.
and he only came back like once a year.
From what it sounds like, he loved it.
He loved it,
Yeah.
but like I think it takes like definitely a type of person, and like I don't know, I think it definitely would be paradise. Like he was like, it's heaven.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, it's like you can't see your family if they're not there
Yeah.
as much as like I guess we can. It's more easy.
Yeah.
It's easier for us to go home.
Yeah.
Vice versa. But yeah, that definitely is my priority, and if not like my number one thing I think about.
Yeah, gotcha.
What would be your next quality you think about or
I
consider?
think, like, I would say, as like a general thing, opportunity. Whether it's like career opportunity or like, or even just like something that you are really interested in to learn more about, like somewhere. So, like for instance, I feel like I've always been really interested in like movies and how the media gets made, and so I think that like I always considered moving to LA when I was younger, and I don't know if that is in the cards for me anymore, but I think that's like something that drew me in, was like that opportunity to learn and like soak myself in everything about it, right? And like if you want to be in the film industry, LA is the place to be. And so I think like opportunity, like if you don't have a job or anything, or you maybe even if you do have a job and you're like, well, I kind of want my career to go this way, I think going to somewhere that is going to open up opportunities for you and open up different chances for you, because I really think cities can do that. The place where you live can really determine the opportunities that you're given, and I think that that's really big for me. Is like I want to get the right opportunities and like be in like put myself in a position to exceed, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think like that is a very important thing for me. It's hard to say. It's like a very general thing because there's opportunities everywhere. It just really depends on what you want.
Exactly.
Like what kind of person you
I
are.
was
and
about
what you
to
want.
ask, like, how do you define that? Or like, for example, like we're living in Denver, like of course it's not anything compared to like New York or LA, like you were saying. Like how would you, I guess, explain like the opportunities here versus like versus going to like a huge city?
Yeah.
Like that.
I think, it's definitely very like personal choice based, right? It's like everyone's different. So I think maybe if you look at it like if you live here, the opportunities for you to work in a like environment based sector or like a job that has like that is like nature oriented, animal oriented, like and then you have like the space or the Air Force in Colorado Springs, like you have that military out there. So like if there's a couple different things like military jobs and careers that living in Denver is like very good to get yourself involved in that stuff.
Okay.
Like I don't know if I'm like putting this in like the most clear perspective here, but say you like, oh, I'm really interested in, environmental conservation. And I want to get out and I want to work on conserving the environment, work in a place that there's a lot of people that care about the environment as well, care about preserving like the natural land that's there. Like half of Colorado is beautiful natural land, beautiful mountains, that almost everybody in the state cares about. And so that is going to open up, you're going to meet so many like-minded people, and the opportunities are there to work in that sector if you wanted to.
That specific, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if that's what you valued.
Right.
Which is really cool, because you meet so many people who literally move out here, and they're like, I'm gonna work and live in the mountains, and that's what I want to do.
Yeah, they're
And-
content with that. Like that's
Exactly.
what they
Yeah,
want.
it's really cool, and that opportunity is obviously you're not gonna find that in somewhere that doesn't have the vast like areas of nature. Like I don't know, you might find something like that in Illinois, but it's not. I don't think it's as extreme maybe
Yeah,
as it would be in Colorado.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and then I guess there's a huge military presence. Since I like spend a lot of time in Colorado Springs, I do notice like a huge military presence there. So the opportunity like to work for and in the military, Colorado Springs definitely has a big presence for that, and like the opportunities there. I'm sure like once you join the military, like based on where you're at, that's where they may put you somewhere. They may give you the option, but I know the Colorado Springs at least is really big into that too,
Okay.
or a really big city for that.
Do you think like the city's size has something to do with opportunities too?
Yeah,
Not necessarily just Denver, but just cities in general.
definitely. Just like it'll obviously affect the amount of people that you meet,
Mm-hmm.
or the variety of people that you meet. Like if you, I don't know, if you live in New York City, you may meet people that work in every single industry
Mm-hmm.
or do a bunch of different stuff. Like you may meet 10 people and they might all do something different.
Right.
But if you, I don't know, if you live somewhere smaller, like I don't know, I don't have too good of an example, but if you live somewhere smaller, you might meet a lot of people who maybe do the same thing. Like I don't know, take Detroit for example, a huge auto industry out there. You might meet a couple people who work in the auto industry. Like that is the focus out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another like attraction for people who want to work there is like, or move to Detroit is like the auto industry.
Yeah.
So I think like, yeah, big cities definitely have you meet a lot of different people.
I
Good
think
food.
opportunity also like gets you to move to a new city at the same time.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Like for you, for example, like you came here to Colorado for work. Like
Mhm.
that was a new opportunity.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me.
I think like it could also go another way. Like if you were given the opportunity, it could bring you potentially to a new city as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you already had it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. It could, true, yeah, you might find the opportunity before you find the city,
Mhm.
and then you end up in there too.
Yeah. So I like
That's
that.
a really good point.
I like that answer. That's a good one too.
So yeah, I think something fun we could do maybe is take a list of what, like, let's do 3. Top 3. No holds barred, like nothing holding you back. What would be your top 3 cities? We'll do in the U.S. that you would like. These cities have a lot of what you would value, right? And let's do 3, 2, 1. So go 3, 2, 1.
Oh my god. I don't know. That's hard. Like, so nothing's holding me back. Not money, not anything.
Yeah.
I think my third would be Chicago.
Okay.
My second would be New York.
Mhm.
And my first would be Austin, which I feel like you already knew that.
Yeah.
I guess I say Austin because I've always wanted to live there, honestly.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's such a cool, funky, different city, and also very up and coming, kind of like Denver. I think it's a good size, like it's not huge,
Yeah.
but it's still growing. The food's there, still has like a lot of outdoor activities, even though it's just on mountains. I don't know, I've always had a fascination with Austin. I love visiting. I say New York. If money wasn't involved, New York. I think I would really
Yeah.
love living in New York. That busy and like active, like go, go, go. I know I just said like I like to do nothing, but like I think it's so cool. New York is just so cool, and again, like a huge city, like I think there'd be so many opportunities and so many cool people
Yeah.
to meet and get to know and learn from, I guess,
Yeah.
too. And it's just a huge city. Like I don't know. I think like exploring it, and it just is like a dream. And then Chicago, of course, is always on my list. Growing up in the suburbs and like growing up going to Chicago, I've always like dreamt of living in Chicago, and I still haven't, but like that's always gonna be on my list.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah. I get it. It's a good
Just
spot.
home, I guess.
Yeah.
You know. How about you?
No, that's a good list. I think, would you, so you said Austin would be your number one?
Yeah. Right now,
Yeah.
I feel like it changes a lot. Like it changes for me like every week.
Yeah, honestly.
So, yeah.
And you said Austin just because you like the environment, the vibe of the city, and
Yeah.
even though it's not close to maybe where like your family is.
I have family there, so like that's a
Oh,
great-
gotcha.
But I thought we were doing like no
True.
strings attached.
Yeah. I think you still do consider like the priorities and
Yeah.
stuff.
True.
Yeah, I guess maybe no strings attached at all financially, maybe.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, it's a tough decision. It's your answers were all over the country though, which is cool.
How about you?
I think I would go with. I honestly think I would really like to try San Francisco as maybe my number 3. I'm also not saying Denver because I already chose it.
Well, yeah, we
Yeah,
live here, so
yeah.
it's like that's not.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I did that too, I guess. Like I live here, so like why would I? Yeah.
because I think San Francisco's got a good mix of big city, but also it's very in close proximity to a lot of like great outdoors, great nature, places like national parks and things like that you could visit. And then I think it's like the growing tech industry out there is really cool. It might be something really cool to be a part of at some point. So it's always a city that's intrigued me. I've only ever been there once.
Yeah, that answer surprised me.
I know. I just, I thought about it. I haven't really thought about it now, but I think like, just in the grand scheme of things, I'm like, oh, that would be.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It may not be realistic, but
Yeah.
it would be really cool. I agree with your New York City take. Like I think New York City just it's something different than every other city, right? It's the biggest city in the U.S. There's tons of stuff going on all over the place, and it's just different, right? You're not gonna find all that stuff. It's like the hub for the United States for people who are working and doing everything.
Yeah.
And like you can meet whoever you want to, whatever kind of group you're looking for, whatever intrigues you, you can probably find it there, which is like super cool because I don't think there's another place in the U.S. maybe that you can do that. Find anything. It's got probably the most opportunity for sure. And then number 1, okay, maybe my order's a little bit messed up, but I want to do something different than Chicago maybe, because I do love Chicago and it probably would be on my list. I just was trying to think of some different stuff, and not Denver. Honestly, I think you might be surprised by this too, like Dallas. And I think I say that because maybe not there's not like a whole nature aspect. I think my list might be messed up. Maybe Dallas would be 3, maybe San Fran would be 2, and New York would be 1.
Okay.
One thing we didn't mention was like weather probably.
Yeah.
like weather in a city. Like if you're not good at cold, you're not living in Chicago.
See, I think we didn't talk about it though because like, at least for me, like I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I like the 4 seasons. I don't mind the cold.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to be somewhere that's always warm.
Yeah.
I honestly think I would dislike it, to be honest. Maybe not dislike it, but I think I would miss the winter. I
Gotcha.
would miss the snow. So I think that's why, like, at least for me, like, I don't think about that as being, like, a priority or something to think about. Like, I kind of just, like, sure, the warm was probably amazing, like, all year round, like, can't complain, but it's not like I need warmth all the time. Like, I don't mind the snow. I don't mind winter.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's probably a ton of people who grew up in warm spots that are like, snow's not for me.
Right. No, completely
And
agree.
like, I'll be honest, you have to have a certain level of like intensity to bear a Chicago winter if you're gonna
Yeah.
do it every single year. And it's, cause it sucks. Like there's no like sugarcoating it. Like the months of January through early March are tough. It gets bitter cold out there.
It just makes everywhere else you live though easier.
Yeah, true,
to
true.
stand. Like now living in Colorado, it's like winters spoil us here
Yeah, they're definitely nice.
versus like
Definitely
growing
really
up
nice out here. Yeah.
in Chicago. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like today, like for example, it's middle of January, end of January, and I'm not even wearing a
Yeah.
coat. Like it's so nice.
Yeah.
Still. Yeah, I guess that just wasn't something I thought about, but that definitely is something like people think about.
Yeah.
For sure, or prioritize is
Yeah.
the weather, which is completely understandable. Like, if you're used to warm weather and like love the heat or like warmth, like you're gonna stay somewhere with that.
Yeah. And I think that's just what attracted me maybe to Texas in general.
Okay.
Is maybe not like a specific city. I kind of chose Dallas because I had been there, and I do love Austin as well, but didn't want to choose the same thing as you. And I think the weather it's just awesome down there. I went to go visit, like I have a couple of buddies that live out there, and it was like, I think it was like 40 degrees in Colorado, and it was 80 degrees in
Yeah.
Dallas, and I was like,
Insane.
yeah, I was like, this is awesome. There's no beaches there, but it's still like, it's still beautiful, and the night times are like a chilly 60. Like, I'll take that all day. Like,
Right.
it's definitely something. Like, I've never lived in a warm weather all the time city,
Yeah.
but as I get older, I can see myself avoiding the snow sometimes.
Right. I do eventually would love to see how it would be.
Yeah.
Because like I also haven't lived anywhere without the 4 seasons and like somewhere just warm all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I think it's like crazy like that happens.
Yeah.
Probably because I've never experienced it, but like, I don't know. I really do think I would miss the snow
Yeah. You think so?
and the cold. I'm also not a heat person. Like, I hate being hot. I'd rather be cold 100 times over than being hot, like too hot.
Mm-hmm.
That just might be a me thing.
Yeah, I think I always get to the point in the winter where it's like, it's cold and it's like chilly around Halloween. It's cold around Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the holidays come up and it's cold, but it's like, that's the time for it to be cold, right?
Yeah.
And you like it.
You want a white Christmas?
Oh, and then as soon as New Year's is over, I'm like, all right, I'm ready for it to be warm again.
Yeah.
And now we're at that point where it's just like, I don't want it to be cold anymore.
Yeah.
And you probably got like a month and a half before it starts warming up a little
Yeah.
bit. And that's where I'm like, man, I really do wish it was just warm all the time.
Something I do appreciate about Colorado in general is like the sun though. That was like a huge difference moving from the Midwest to here. Is like they get 300 days of sun.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Midwest does not get that. In that, like I think I do definitely take for granted now living here
Yeah.
for like years and going home
Yeah.
and realizing how gray and like gloomy it is. Like that I don't love. and I love the sun. Like, it could be cold here and like snow, but then the sun will come out and it'll still make your day like okay.
Yeah, it's
Like,
still
you're
like
not,
35 degrees too.
Yeah,
It's
like you're
not
still
bitter.
like, I don't know, it makes me like happier. Like,
Yeah.
so that I guess that could be something like a place with sun that's sunny and not always like gray.
Cool with me.
Yeah,
Yeah, Chicago's got its overcast days for sure.
months,
Yeah.
not days, months.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like honestly, like even when living in Indiana, the winters were slightly better than
Really?
they were in Chicago, even though it wasn't. I was like in southern Indiana, so
I was gonna say you were in Bloomington, so that is like
Yeah.
pretty. I guess
it's,
south.
yeah, it's like
Compared to Chicago.
it's like 4 hours south,
suburbs.
but you could notice the weather,
Yeah.
the difference,
I'm sure.
and it would get warmer. It was usually like average like 8 degrees, 10 degrees warmer than it was in Chicago, like year round,
Hmm.
which I never really noticed, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. So I don't think you have to go like it feels like you have to go really far to get change of weather sometimes.
Hmm.
But I don't think that's the case too much. I think you can see the changes a little bit. You drive a couple hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I feel like I don't know. You got any honorable mentions or like maybe a city you would think about throughout the world?
Oh, I don't know. I would love to live in Italy just because I went there this year or this summer and absolutely loved it. But I don't know. I think I need to travel more. Even like I said, like Austin and New York and Chicago because I've been to those places, but there's still even cities in the U.S. I haven't been to, like LA, for example, or I guess San Diego and San Francisco I've been like when I was very young, but I don't remember it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I could see.
Gonna try it again.
I want to like travel more places and be like pleasantly surprised
Yeah.
and be like, oh shit, I can see myself here. Like maybe this is my city.
Mhm.
But I guess abroad, definitely somewhere in Italy
Yeah.
would be a dream. But I don't know. Since I'm young and I still have it in me, I guess, I like to stay in a big city.
Yeah.
I'm a city girl, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
And I
City
can't
girls.
see myself going somewhere like remote or anything until like I'm older. I think I can do it. Like I love it.
Yeah.
But I think I have to be a little bit older. I need to get my city girl phase out,
Yeah.
my city girl era done with, and then I can like, I don't know. Because I wouldn't live in Rome. I could live in Florence, but I think I have to be older. 'Cause it's not like
Totally.
super busy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's smaller,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I need a big city for now.
Yeah. Some of those European cities get a smaller vibe to them.
Yeah,
Smaller
that's
feel.
yeah, and I like big city.
Yeah.
Like even Denver. I mean, I tell you like
Yeah.
I love it. I do. Like I'm very content here, but I need a bigger city for my next one. For where I live next, like I would like a bigger city. I
Yeah,
think like
okay.
it's just a phase, and then I'll get it out, and I'll be like, okay, now I can like chill out.
Well then, yeah. Eventually, no. I mean, yeah. Or you'll want something different.
Right.
You'll want. I don't know. You're like, all right, now I need it to be warm.
Yeah.
Or
I know.
like-
I think I also have this thing where like I get bored very easily. Like
Need some variety.
yeah, like I really do like change. I
Mhm.
like changing it up. I like, I don't know, keeping myself on my toes, I guess. And like, I would love to just travel and move while I can and have not really any strings attached,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, makes sense.
Would you go abroad? And if so,
Oh, I
where?
definitely would if I had the opportunity. It's always been something on my bucket list, just because I don't know. It seems to be a lot more popular now
Mhm.
than maybe it was like 50 years ago. People living abroad,
Yeah.
because you have like cell phones and stuff. Everyone's in contact with each other. Maybe it won't feel as far. I don't know. I've never tried it, so it's probably still really far.
Yeah. Definitely.
But I don't know. I honestly, if I was gonna live abroad, I would do I would try to get like really far away from American culture and just try to immerse myself in something completely different.